get all the insight from Claudette Sanat, who is a band leader of many, many years in the minstrel game. Claudette, tell me, what does it mean to be a minstrel?
The minstrel is a messenger, so that traditionally, all through the years, since from the 15th century, what the minstrels will do, they would be the people who would bring the news, bring the messages, tell the stories, give the warnings. Actually, the name minstrels came from the word mean, which means bringers of stories, love people, right? And it's a German word. So in the beginning, they weren't called minstrels, they were called mean singers, right? Singers bringing the news with love.
I like it. Now the messenger clearly has very distinctive attire. So if we were to talk about some key components of being a minstrel, the physical parts therein at least, what would we have?
Our minstrels, that's minstrels in Trinidad in particular, was derived from the American minstrelsy. So that minstrels would have come to Trinidad in the time zone of the 1940. Because you know traditional mass, each mass has its time and its own history, right? Minstrels supposed to be, although comical, gentlemanly. So the stripes on the hat tend to go, and the scissor steel, because that was the wear at the time. Comma band must have a bow tie. Gloves, you must have gloves. Important to the minstrel, real important, is the painted face. Now, when the American minstrelsies came, they were sort of ridiculing the blacks, and we in Trinidad, we're ingenious. So if you making a mockery of us, we could have fun mocking you, mocking us. So we gonna paint, black people will paint themselves with white faces and play minstrels. Any aspect of Carnival has an aspect of rebellion in it. If you have a 3 cents bit of rebellion, you are playing mass. In the middle of it, you would have always some sort of clowning around with the performance. Right. And also because remember the dance for minstrels is as important as the singing. The Trini minstrels, they always have a stately dance. You will never see any weha. Okay. And then the songs that you sing, they are always ditties. So they have to be simple, but the message must be potent.
So how many years have you been doing or playing or portraying the minstrel mass, and why?
I grew up with minstrels. Minstrels are Marval mass. So from little bit, you would see it on the street because the players who played, they would play here as well as going to town and play. Yeah. So I kind of grew up watching Miss Morilla Montano, playing the minstrels Yankee Doodle up and down. And so it would resonate inside, but I never would play. So I would have been playing minstrels as an actual minstrel for maybe, could be 12 years. So it's not that long I've been actually performing as a minstrel.
I still want to find out a little bit more, since one of the main features that viewers may associate with minstrels is the fact that they seem to kick things off, to jumpstart the carnival. How did that come about?
Now, quite by chance, or more than out of circumstance actually. Morilla Montano, remember I mentioned her? She was the first one who started this thing. In speaking to her, she would say to me, when she's playing the mass, she wants to play her mass. But it's in competition with the bands, and when they start their music and the minstrel turns up and they ask them to slow down the music so that you can hear the music, they're a little irritated and sometimes they vociferously say what they feel. So she decided the thing to do is to reach the savannah early. So now here's what. I'm going to now claim that space and say the minstrel has opened the carnival, you know.
So we've seen the minstrel evolve, as you said, from what it was historically to the minstrel we have today. Very specific to Trinidad and Tobago. Do we see the minstrel mass evolving beyond that? Who is the minstrel of the future?
No, there's no choice but to evolve. Traditional mass must evolve in order to stay in the present. I am seeing it evolving with better scripts and better performances. But it will remain in its center of the costuming, because if you change from the costume of the bow tie and the stuff, then you're taking away what people perceive as minstrels in Trinidad. And it must pertain, true to its form of bringing a message, keep the story in the people's face. Present it to them palatably, because sometimes they may not like the message that you're bringing, but they would recognize it as a truth.
So in that case, I want to bring some truth. Let's see if I can become a minstrel.
Of course you can. I have paints and I have clothes. I can dress you up and I can teach you to sing. And you learn it quickly and then they can film you perform in the minstrel.
Let's put it in the people's face. Let's go.
We go and put it in the people's face, yes. The boy went to London. He did so good, he stunned them, fell the javelin, then sat back and watched the show. And all of them sportsmen with medals hung upon them couldn't catch up with the boy from Toko. A ting a ling 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 a lo.
That Got Carnival feature was brought to you by KFC. It's finger licking good. Nestlé Nutri-Go. Keep going. And Nestlé Flavoured milks till the last drop.
So here you are, saving on the hotel room. We have a better idea. The GT bucket from KFC. 8 pieces of chicken and 1 bucket of fries for only $99. KFC, it's finger licking good.